Technology continues to drive innovation across industries. And in order to stay relevant, individuals and businesses must stay current so they can keep up with the rapid pace of change. This means keeping an eye on future trends and skills that will be transforming the world. Daya Adesanya, a tech consultant, shares his thoughts on tech trends we should watch out for this year.
People set goals. I set them myself, but we continue to lose track of those goals because we're humans. Usually, technology is very helpful towards, using apps to get yourself reminders and set goals and, time boxing and the rest of them to make sure that even when you get mid-year, you're still on track. Apps are not humans, so they don't have emotions, they don't forget, and they don't lose focus. So, yeah, I think a lot more apps will be helpful. Now, it depends on, which area of the industry we're talking about that people are setting goals and which aspect of life that will determine what kind of apps will be effective.
And do you think Nigeria leveraged technology better last year?
Oh, yes, I believe so. And, even if there's still room for improvement, one of the things that really, some of the things that stood out for me would be, during the elections, the ability to upload results on sites, making the results a little bit more believable and giving people more confidence in the electoral process. That's number one. Number two, some banks are beginning to, deploy an ability to withdraw from ATMs using biometrics. That, although that may have its cons, but, is more good than harm. So yes, all of these things have, given Nigerians hope that technology can come to their rescue now and in the future.
Let's now talk about technology trends for 2023.
Yeah.
Starting with the now popular crypto winter, as some would like to call it. Do you think 12 months will be enough for a full-scale comeback?
That's a very great question. And that's something that is being at the center of discussions around the world. I think that it is helpful to help viewers understand what crypto winter is initially. So crypto winter is just a time when the whole idea of investing in cryptocurrencies might not be at their best. The crypto industry is continuing to see a decline in value of their assets, digital assets, and the rest of them. And to say that 12 months to make predictions with crypto with 12 months, it's a hard sell. It's something that is very hard to do. But one thing that I'm sure about is the positivities that surround the whole idea of crypto. Some things that we can learn from there, which will be the whole idea of decentralized finance and how secure that environment is, how it's been fraud-proofed and whatnot. I think that those things are some of the factors that will help crypto stand the test of time. So yes, there's a big possibility that the crypto winter would be away and that whole industry will come back even stronger within the next 12 months. But it's just hard to predict.
Well, I'm sure in the coming weeks, we'll have more conversations about that. Now to the Metaverse, which had a lot of hype at the beginning of 2022. What will mainstream consumption be like for it, especially with businesses wanting to ensure that they are not left out when it comes to the next iteration of the internet?
That's an interesting question. Thank you very much for that question. I think the Metaverse was actually, seen as something that took off even better after we saw the pandemic, where people were at home and needed to interact with the world without exactly being there physically. And I think there's a lot that businesses can leverage with the Metaverse in the coming year. Having meetings via Zoom has its own restrictions. Doing meetings via Metaverse and, feeling like you're in the same room with other participants, can actually drive a lot more productivity for the meeting, and to also talk about, some industries that are more technical, where you can actually provide support via the metaverse, having these meetings and showing your audience how to, assemble or disassemble. I think those things are going to be some of the values that metaverse would bring to businesses, and to even look at the Nigerian local businesses, to look at the banks, for example, to see how people can actually walk into the bank in the metaverse rather than having to deal with traffic and the rest of them, and still be able to achieve a lot of the things that you would achieve. Basically, I think these are the areas that businesses can begin to look at how to innovate some of their processes and make sure that their customers can, leverage the metaverse to get a better customer journey and better customer satisfaction.
Artificial intelligence, short for AI, has been around for a while now, and it has become quite ubiquitous. What new use cases will 2023 unlock regarding the technology?
That's an interesting question, and it's very interesting, the new use cases that we'll begin to see when it comes to artificial intelligence. We're not looking at artificial intelligence at the core alone anymore. Now, artificial intelligence has become something that everyone can utilize. There is now something that we refer to as artificial intelligence as a service. So you can begin to look at your business or your personal life, and without exactly understanding or having the skills to code, you can utilize artificial intelligence to make better business decisions and to drive your operations even better. Some of the use cases we might see might be in the healthcare space, for us to be able to monitor patient vitals. Some cases that can be handled via telehealth, and then maybe have some wearables, some technology wearables that artificial intelligence can begin to look into the patient's day-to-day activities and begin to plot possibilities, prognosis, and the rest of them, and helping healthcare providers understand what the daily lifestyle of this person is and how to advise the person better without the person actually having to make a doctor's visit or going through the hustle and bustle of getting from one end of Lagos to another, for example. So I think artificial intelligence is something we should begin to look into even better. If we look at our electoral process as well, and we decide to bring in a little bit of artificial intelligence begins to learn what are the mistakes that we've made in the past and ensure that we don't make those mistakes anymore, and things can only get better. So I'm also interested and excited in seeing the new use cases that we'll see around the world with artificial intelligence.
And lastly, Dio, we have 5G now. Should we be anticipating talks about 6G, 6G services as well in the future?
Yes, anticipation being the key word, yes. Because when you look at 5G itself, it's not been so long that they rolled it out, right? Some of the facts about 6G that I can share with you today, beyond speed, is that there are a lot of other technologies that are embedded on the speed that the average user sees. There are a lot of other areas that 6G is going to break us into. But if you look at the speed, and we talk about the speed a little bit, the speed is, talked about in the sense of being about 10 times faster than 5G. And if I wanted to, break that down to the average user and the average person to understand, that means that we're going to be looking at about 1 terabyte per second type speed. And to put that into better context, that's like, being able to download a movie of about 140, hours in, just a couple of, seconds. That's how fast it will be. But I think one thing that is clear is that governments around the world are beginning to invest a lot in this 6G technology. The US, China are some of the major players in that space, and they are beginning to put a lot of investments in place to understand, what new technologies, what new realities will be unraveled in this area. So yes, that's something we can continue to look forward to, so that we can also, business owners can begin to make business decisions that will match with the reality of the future.
Well, thank you so much, Dio, for sharing your thoughts with us on tech trends.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Have a wonderful day. And Happy New Year as well.